Hello everyone, this is Sonoma.
And this is Johannes.
And you are watching Board Gaming Ramblings.
And today we are taking a look at It's a Wonderful World, designed by Frederic Gerard and released by Ori Games, La Botte de Jeu and Lucky Duck Games.
It plays from 1 to 5 players in about 45 minutes.
So this is a pretty straightforward drafting game. There is kind of a setting here where you are in the future. The theme isn't really strong here because it doesn't really try to explain a lot in the rules, but it is kind of a future where you are trying to be military or you're trying to build up the city, which is these two colors. But other than that, really the theme isn't much there. It's a pretty basic drafting game where you are trying to build up a small engine over the four turns of the game, 4 rounds of the game, by drafting cards and doing stuff. So the game is basically that. You are going to get 7 cards, you're going to take a card and pass them along and continue doing that until you have 7 cards in front of you. And then you're going to choose which of those cards you want to recycle, which will give you a resource that you can put off the cards, because the cards have different resource costs. And the cards you don't recycle. The cards you don't recycle, they will stay and be projects that you will build and will use those resources. And also you will then start to produce resources. To do it in like an order of the different resources. You'll produce the resources of your starting player board, and whenever you build new buildings, they will also probably produce more stuff, which will make you be able to build even more buildings in the later rounds of the game. And you're trying to get points either by having a lot of the same colored building, just getting cards which has a lot of points on them, or getting these men and women like the businessman and the war woman.
Militaries?
Yeah, war woman. That is
war
like
woman.
That sounds like a really like, oh, you're kind of war woman. That doesn't really sound like a positive thing.
Yes.
So it's the war woman and the businessman, and you're trying to get those as well because those will give you points. So basically you're gonna pick a couple of things that scores points and try to focus on them and try not to get drafted out of all the cards that you want. And you're going to do that for 4 rounds, and after that the player who has the most points is the winner of It's a Wonderful World.
Yeah.
That's it, right?
Yeah, it is.
So every game needs a rulebook, and this is no exception. It has a rulebook. Chucker. It's a pretty decent rulebook, really short. It's like 2, 4, 6, 8 pages long. Really simple rules. As I said, I just basically explained to you 80% of the game. So it is really simple. It's colorful. It has a lot of pictures. It has a lot of examples. Easy to understand, easy to read, not much to say. Great rulebook. Easy to learn, right?
Yeah, it's super simple to learn. You have this like, I don't know the word. The civilization, is that a thing?
Yeah, you can call it that. You have a player card.
Yeah, you have a player card. It's super thematic. Well, it says some scoring that you want to focus on, and also you have like a starting engine that gives you some resources like the first time around.
Yeah, so you can play it like where everybody has the same one, or you can play with everybody had different startings. Of course, when you play with the same ones, everybody is set up the same. But if you play it with the different ones, of course, you can get into positions where you get unlucky and not get anything that works with your engine. But usually over the course of the game, you're going to draft. If you play with 3 players, you're going to use half of the cards in the game. So you're probably going to get out some cards that you need and get your engine going. So I like the artwork here.
Yeah, I agree. It's actually kind of nice, and I think the artwork here is what brings me along with the theme in itself.
Yeah, absolutely. Because the theme it's super thin, but the artwork is super cool. You have the different colors, which are the different kind of things you do, like the gray are more companies and finances and all of that. You have the black ones, which are war. You have blue, which is kind of time travel and going to different locations in time to do different adventures. And I actually, even though I don't really care about the theme, and I don't usually care about themes, I actually look at these cards. When I draft them, I look at them and they're pretty cool.
Yeah, I agree.
And I like the artwork. Do you like the artwork?
I like the artwork.
Not more to say about that?
No, actually.
No, okay, cool. Nothing more to say about that. Okay, so we have played this game at 3 and 4 players, which both of them took about an hour. When we played 3 players back to back, then the second time took around 40 minutes. So you can play it in between 40 minutes and 60 minutes. We haven't played with 5, and we haven't played like the solo mode. We don't play that. And the 2-player version is kind of like a mode, because drafting games doesn't usually work super well with 2 players and aren't really super exciting. So we haven't played with 2 and we haven't played with 5, but 3 and 4, what do you think? Any difference?
No, I don't think so. It's more likely that stuff will come around to you like
Yeah.
with fewer players. I see that as maybe the only thing that changes.
Yeah, like it's a super simple drafting game. So there's really it's like every other drafting game. That is what's happening. It's that the cards will come through, and you can more kind of think like, okay, I will take this now, and I probably don't think none of you need this. So the more players you have, the less chance of that coming back to you there is. And that is kind of like an interesting thing. Like you can play on that when you play with fewer players. But of course, when you're more players, you just have to see what comes around.
Yes.
And always first pick the thing that you actually need.
Yeah, and also I think there's kind of competition for, there is a competition for producing the most of the specific goods or resources. So if you produce the most of the gray, you get a dude, or
Which is a point.
Most of the blues, you get the war
War
woman.
woman, which is something we call it now. It's not called that, not in the rules.
But that makes it maybe easier to get more points with fewer players.
Yeah.
Because there's scorings for those. And it's easier to get more majorities than just one resources.
Yeah, so probably, but that just means that you're gonna have a higher score. It doesn't really.
Yeah, maybe,
change
but
up.
maybe because you have some of these civilizations that gives you scoring like to get these dudes and war women. Which is a thing
So
now.
it might be easier with fewer players to say. Yeah.
Maybe, yeah.
We don't know.
That's the only difference that I've noticed.
Haven't played the game enough to really say, but
Yes.
but yeah, I like that. And that is one of the things I really like about this game is that majority of the resources it adds like a little different things to the game. Because that's what you draft the cards, and when you produce the things, the player who has the most production of each color will get the bonus, which is either the blue or red token, which I'm going to call it now, which scores of points and might score more points if you have cards with multipliers on them. And that is really cool. You will really try to see like, okay, how much production can you do, and try to rush cards into being finished so that I will get enough production to win that, because it might. Like it is a point that I will get, but also a point that you won't get. So and it might help my engine, and the cards. Some of the cards cost these symbols, and also there's at least 1 point in them. So it is good to get points, which is good in these kind of games.
Yeah, there is good. It's good to get points.
It is.
Yes.
So it's a pretty light game. It's kind of, I would say that it's easier to teach than, for example, Seven Wonders.
Yes.
Which is like this might be like a better gateway drafting game than Seven Wonders, because it doesn't have a lot of symbols. Really, it doesn't have. It has some symbols, but most of them are the same. It's like 2 points for black. If you understand that, you will understand 2 points for red. It's not gonna, or red isn't a color, but it will, or it is a color, but not in the game. But it will basically, it's super simple to learn the symbols. I can show you like 3 cards with symbols, and you basically understood all of the symbols.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I would, if we're playing a learning drafting game, I would pick this over Seven Wonders easily. Not because it's better, just because it's much more simpler. Like the first time you're playing a drafting game, I would pick this one.
Yeah, because the problem with Seven Wonders, which is a great drafting game, is that it is kind of a hassle to teach. It has that kind of, not at the same level, of course, it has that kind of barrier that Race for the Galaxy has. It's a really good game, but I don't want to play it because it's a hassle to teach. So we don't really play Seven Wonders anymore, because there's all the games, and we don't usually play all the games they're out. But really, it is harder to teach because of that hurdle, and you don't get that here.
Yes, and you don't get the questions after questions after questions that you often get in Seven Wonders.
What did this do again?
Yes.
How did this work? How did this work?
Yep. And like collecting a lot of cards that you're just like, oh, it doesn't give me any points. I forgot how this worked.
But I will say that like it might be less interesting than Seven Wonders if you play like there's more depth to Seven Wonders. I will say, and the replayability here I don't think is like sky high.
No,
I would say it's like okay.
Yeah, I agree. When we're first in this boat comparing it to Seven Wonders,
which will logically be done because it is like that's one of the biggest drafting games, like pure drafting games where you just draft.
Yeah, I think Seven Wonders is a better game, like because it's more interesting to us, because it has more depth and more replayability, because it has more rules. There's also expansions. Yes, but for what this is, like a super simple drafting game for, and I think you can enjoy it even though you played a lot of games as well. We enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But you can't really compare. They're in two different groups of drafting, levels of drafting.
The thing with this game is that it is kind of one of those games that is just cozy to play.
Yeah.
Like it's just like it's not. You don't really need to use your brain a lot. You don't need to think a lot. Like sometimes you need to think and also to get things to work out. Like, okay, I need one more of those and then I can throw away that. And if I do that, then this can be done. And then I can produce those, which makes this. And then that can produce those, which makes that. That kind of thing is really interesting. But it flows really well and it is super cool. Like it's just cozy. That's like the word I really want to play.
Yeah.
It is one of those games that just doesn't need my brain too much, but it's just like fun and entertaining and friendly and great to play.
Yeah, it's a little optimization puzzle with like figuring out, because there's really interesting the way that you produce, everything doesn't produce at the same time. So if you have something that you need blue to produce it, and blue is produced last.
Yeah.
And the card that you're building with those blues, they produce green or gray or something that comes first. You have to decide, okay, do I want to recycle some resources now to be able to get this card out so it can actually produce in this round?
Yeah.
Or should I just wait till the next turn? So that is really interesting. But other than like keeping track of this little optimization puzzle that you do yourself, there's really easy choices, I think, in what cards you're going to draft. There's fairly obvious, so the drafting itself plays out pretty quickly, and I really enjoy that.
So yeah, let's take a look at some things that, like, if I should say something that's not positive, like there's really isn't a lot of new stuff here. Like I enjoy the production chain. That is the only like thing that feels different, because other than that, this is a pretty straightforward drafting game. And do you need another one of those? Probably not. But if you enjoy those kind of games, you probably will enjoy this. So it's a very good game, but it's nothing groundbreaking and it's not gonna change anything. I know like there was in the Kickstarter version, it was like a kind of campaign mode and all that might be interesting. We don't know. We just play the base game, and some of those things were gonna be like expansions that's coming out. But it's a good game, but it doesn't really. Like, I don't mean that all games need to be super new or super groundbreaking, but also there is so many games. Like, so should you pick this up? I don't know. Like, if you need a beginning level drafting game, or you just like lighter games and you want, like, this is a great weeknight game. If you are 3-4 players and you don't want to use your brains enough and you just want to play something that feels, I don't know why, but this feels kind of like Dominion to me. Not in the, of course, in the way you play, but in the feeling I get. Especially when I play Dominion with 2, because it just flows well. Don't really hard choices. It's just like one of those, oh, I want to play a game, but I don't want to play a game. I don't want to think too much. I just want to relax and have fun with this board game hobby.
Yeah, I think that's a really nice description of the feel of it. I think this could be a great filler as well, but this is not a game that you need in your collection.
No.
Unless you're like, easy drafting game that I can introduce new players to. Fantastic. What I'm not so keen on with this game, but it's like mandatory for it to be there because it's a card drafting game. You're going to get some luck of the draw, and especially because not all of the cards are coming out in one game, and that's maybe my like biggest problem with it, and that's not that much of a problem.
No, and you can't really like it, then you just can say I don't want to play the game because that is the game.
Yeah, but like in Seven Wonders, you go through like all of the cards.
I don't remember.
You?
Yeah, I think you do.
Yeah, I think you get.
I don't remember.
It's like maybe one card that doesn't get used or something.
I don't remember how that works.
Yeah, it's almost every one of the cards.
Oh, I can't talk about it.
With all play. Yeah, never mind. I said that, but
it's depending on the amount of players you're playing with.
But
you are getting, like, in the 3-player game, you're getting all the 3-player game cards.
Yes.
But that is like, it's a different kind of game. Like, you no need to know that there's another one of these cog symbols because
Yeah,
or else the game would be
absolutely.
broken.
Yeah.
Here it's more like see what you get and play with that.
Yeah, but I also think that supports how Seven Wonders is more strategic than this game.
Yeah.
Because this is supposed to be, a little lucky, a little simple. It doesn't matter, but I think if you're very negative to luck, this probably isn't a game for you.
Didn't bother me. Like the first time we played it, like we played 2 in a row here the other day, and the first time I got really unlucky in the first round, but it went well after that. So it's really, I don't think it will be a problem because there will always be stuff that you can use.
Yeah.
And there will always be, there's not going to be a game where you don't draw any yellow. There's not going to be a game where you don't draw any other color.
Yeah.
That might happen, but then you have like somebody cheating with the shuffling basically, like a magician. But it is kind of, it doesn't like it, saying that because I usually luck bothers me, but here didn't really mind because it is what it is.
Yeah, you could be like really unlucky and get like, say you have some bonuses for green cards and you get a really bad engine going and all of the other guys snap the green cards that are coming out at the end of the game because they have got their engine up. I think that's the only thing, but then again the game goes by so quickly. We played 2 rounds in a row last night, so no problem at all.
So should we do final thoughts?
Yeah, I think we should.
Do you want to start?
No, you can do it.
I can start. Basically, I said it all. Like
You said it all.
I'm gonna try not to say it all again, but it's a absolutely good game. It's not groundbreaking. It's not something like you need to get in your collection. But I think that if you enjoy these kind of games and you are a gamer who enjoy lighter games and enjoy drafting, you will enjoy this game. I want to keep it in a collection because it is a fun game. I would like to play it again sometimes. And I think probably we're going to get a chance to play it with somebody sometime. And it's easy to pick up and play then. I'm going to give it a 7. It's a great game. Nothing groundbreaking, nothing you need to own, but a good, solid drafting game.
Yes, you've said it all.
I've said it all.
Said it all.
Okay, that's the end of the...
This is just a neat game. And you just enjoy playing it because it flows so fast and it's like the perfect little amount of thinking in there that you just can be casual about. So I'm also going to give it a 7.
7 from both of us.
Yes.
That's the end of this review. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet and you're still watching the video, please do it right now. It's free, it's fun, and it gives you more videos every week from the country of Norway on your internet. And that's the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Johannes.
And I'm Sunniva.
And you've been watching Board Gaming Ramblings, and bye-bye.